You've probably heard of Seamoss being used in smoothies or infused with fruit, but many would not think of it as an ingredient you could use in pudding or dessert as well.
Voila!
Miss Nathi, a vegan blogger from South Africa, recently showed us how her favorite pudding is made using Seamoss and chia seeds. But before we even touch the blender, we would like to know, Entlek, ubanu Miss Nathi?
So hi, I am Miss Nathi, or you can just call me Nathi. I am a plant-based blogger or vlogger. I have a small platform that exists on Instagram as well as YouTube, where I really just talk about my experience with plant-based living or vegan lifestyle living.
This recipe Miss Nathi is about to show us is a creative way to mask the taste of Seamoss and is a light snack that she loves to have in the mornings. We are curious about what goes into it.
For our ingredients today, we have a plate of fresh berries, some vanilla, chia seeds, our plant milk of the day is soya milk, and we also have Seamoss soaking that we are going to prepare today.
Typically, this recipe would be prepared without boiling the Seamoss to make gel. But if you are pressed for time, then this method will help you get gel with the right consistency quicker. We were interested to speak to Miss Nathi in the first place because she uses Seamoss often and has even blogged about her experience with it in a video on her channel. But first, how did she find out about this superfood?
I found out about Seamoss most probably on Instagram because I think at the time Dr. Sebi was very popular. We heard a lot about this miracle plant that had 92 minerals out of 102 minerals the body needs. So for me, it was an Instagram search that became very fruitful. I learned a lot about Seamoss and what it can do for the body. And I'm also glad that more and more people in South Africa are being put onto, Seamoss.
We also asked her to describe the taste of Seamoss for someone who has never used it before.
It tastes like nothing. It tastes like a big blob of gel nothing, with like an after smell of the ocean. That's the best I can describe it. I think it is very off-putting because it's a gel, but it has no flavor. So there's nothing you can really put your mind on. And then it also has this really natural seawater smell. Whether you've washed it or not, it's normally there. So it's like a bit of a gel nothing that smells like the ocean. So it's not pleasant. A lot of people find it hard to swallow, but I think after maybe 1 or 2 times of just taking a spoonful, it's not that bad. But yeah, I always suggest mix it with something else and then it's easier to just swallow.
People who use Seamoss for the first time usually experience a detox reaction.
Absolutely. Mine was almost like a flu. It felt like a flu. I was getting decongested. My sinuses were unclogging. I thought I was sick when I was taking it. But after a week of that decongestion, slight headaches, you feel very good afterwards. I also had mucus coming out of my system, out of my digestive system. So it really did detoxify my body, but it only lasted about a week. So after a week, I felt pretty back to normal.
You're probably wondering what benefits she experienced from using Seamoss.
Lots of things actually. So I have acne-prone skin, so I do experience quite a bit of inflammation regularly. So it really does help with soothing the inflammation from the inside. They normally say that if your gut is a bit off balance, it shows up on your face, on the skin, and I can say that that's what happens to me. So when I am having a bit of an upset stomach, I do take a bit of Seamoss just to soothe my gut, and that normally also helps with my skin. It smooths it out. If I have pimples or intense breakouts, those pimples tend to go, so that's very helpful. And then also I've experienced my nails grow quite quickly, which is cool. And then sometimes I also use Seamoss topically, like I would put it on my face as like a face mask. It does help, again, if you have like a breakout, if you have very like strong inflammation on your face, it does help soothe that out, cool your skin. And then also your skin tends to absorb the minerals like topically. So I found it's very good for like my skin and also my digestive tract mostly.
Let's step back into the kitchen. Now that the Seamoss gel is ready, what comes next?
Okay, so next you're going to take your berries and remove them from the water. Then you're going to chop them up, or at least remove the stem of the strawberry. And then afterwards, you can place them in the container where we'll use your stick blender. Okay, so next we are going to take a few tablespoons of Seamoss gel, and then we're going to put it into the container with the berries so we can blend them all together. Okay. Okay, so next we are going to be mixing our plant milk, chia seeds, vanilla, and sugar together. I'll be using soy milk in this recipe. Okay, so about a cup of soy milk. So exactly a cup. Then next we are going to start mixing some chia seeds. I'll use about 4 tablespoons. And then start mixing. Okay. And then we add a bit of vanilla essence, like a dash of vanilla essence, just for a bit of flavor. And then you mix that in. Next, I'll add about 3 tablespoons of sugar, but you can use any sweetener you prefer, whether it's honey or agave or stevia. You'll feel that your pudding mixture is getting a bit thicker. All right, that's those chia seeds starting to swell. So all you have to do is wait a bit and they will all start to become thicker. If you want, you can always add a bit more chia seeds if you're not sure, but then it'll become very thick. So it really does depend on you. Okay, so you just really need to give it time. You can continue mixing it, then you let it stand, and then continue mixing it again, and you'll feel it become quite thick. Okay. Okay, so for our final step, we are going to layer the chia seed pudding and also the berries Seamoss mix. Okay, so first step, I would like to put maybe a few tablespoons at the bottom, okay, so that we can have like a really good layer. 2 tablespoons seem to work. Okay, so 2 tablespoons on both. As you can see, the chia seeds are quite thick now, but the longer you leave it, the thicker that they'll become, so that will be cool. And then next, you'll take some Seamoss berries. Okay, a very nice mix. layer again. Go. Voila. Okay, so the moment that we have all been waiting for, the taste test. Okay, so we're gonna take a spoonful of the berries and the chia seeds. Oh, it's very nice and refreshing. What's nice is that you can't really taste the Seamoss at all. Obviously, you know it's there, but you can't taste it. And then the creaminess and the light sweetness of the chia seed pudding just brings everything together.